Speak of the new world and men dream of riches, glory, and conquest. This land is home to the fearsome and decadent Aztecs, a people who appease their great sun god with hearts torn from the chests of their enemies. And enemies the Aztecs have aplenty. To the east on the Yucatan Peninsula, the Mayans, a majestic people with an epic history, dream of restoring their once great empire to its former glory. North, beyond the jungles, roam the Apachean Tribes, skilled hunters who follow the great herds across the plains, and fearsome warriors who are quick to learn the ways of their enemies. A new enemy sails on the horizon, bearing steel and marching under the Holy Cross. To Spain, the New World is a land of hope, a land where the Holy Word is delivered on the end of a sword. A land where empires are born. A land of total war.
Hello once again, guys. This is IskaldDvale here, bringing you the winner of the next LP campaign vote. Comes as no surprise, both because you're looking at it and the intro video, that it was the Americas campaign, Kingdom's expansion for the Medieval 2 Total War game. It won with an overwhelming vote, which made me very happy, because I was hoping this one would win, and I'm really glad that you guys are excited about the same game as I am. And I said to you that it would take 1 or 2 weeks before I'd upload this video, where you can vote on which faction I play as. But thanks to you guys being awesome, I can upload it now, just 1 week after. You gave a lot of feedback on the previous update, and a lot of people voted for this campaign, and well, a lot of people voted in general. So I really appreciate that, thanks a lot, and I hope I can ask the same of you again, call upon you to be awesome yet again, when it comes to voting for the campaign I will play as. I'm gonna already give you a sneak peek of the factions available: the Apachean Tribes, Mayans, Aztecs, and New Spain. But I'm gonna go through them a little more in detail and maybe give my opinion of them. Well, not opinion exactly, but just like my impression of them. Starting from right to left, starting with the Apachean Tribes. The thing about the Apachean Tribes, they are able to use the warpath thing, which works kind of like the jihad in Medieval 2. They have very good archers and brave warriors. However, they wear very little armor, but I think they share this with the Mayans and Aztecs as well. The really big plus with these guys is possibly that they are able to utilize their enemy's technology against them. So say if these guys were fighting Spain, they would be able to gain the technology to use muskets, or what you call it? Well, firearms. And also steal their horses and use their horses. And that's the thing about the Apacheans. You see on the map here, they start with one region, but it is a huge region. Up in the northwest of the map, the way I see it, they are pretty far away from all of the other factions. They're not gonna end up encountering them until like halfway or near the end maybe of the Let's Play. Surrounding them are a lot of rebel lands, and I'm sorry to say, but the impression or the feeling I have from the Apachean Tribes, though I like the Apache as a faction, it seems like it's going to be a lot of marching, a lot of walking with a little action. Because it seems like all the regions are pretty large, and they're surrounded by apparently like 10-15 rebel settlements, before even coming close to the Aztecs, I think, which are the closest ones. So I'm afraid you guys might get a bit bored or feel it would be way too slow paced. But I don't know, you'd really have to give me your opinion on that. But that's the Aztecs. Moving on to the Mayans. The Mayans are pretty similar in with the Aztecs in their build-up. One thing that is different is the hornet throwers, which I have no idea how works in the game, but I guess they throw like deadly bees at them or something, I don't know. Sounds kind of cool though, but no idea how it actually works. The thing about these guys is that they are vast in numbers, and they have pretty low upkeep for their units, so you'll be able to have perhaps several large armies with little upkeep, so they will be easy to maintain. Then again, they are kind of reliant on being in big numbers if they are to beat a advanced faction like New Spain. As opposed to the Apachean, they're not able to steal their technology, so they're gonna stick with their kind of weapons. So it would be good to take out the European factions before they manage to get strong. I think what I read about the Mayans is that they are consisted of like a city-state union kind of thing, worshipping the sun god. And I forgot to mention the Apaches. They're the only faction in this game worshipping the Great Spirit. You have the Mayans and the Aztecs worshipping the sun god, and New Spain, Catholic Church, of course. Mayans have fallen from their former glory, but they are on the rise. So the question is, are we going to help them regain their former glory? So I guess that's them. They start out here with 4 factions. I think it's down southeast on the map. The nearby closest faction would be the Spain. I think they got a Spanish island northeast and a Spanish faction to the west. So moving on to the Aztec Empire, which is the strongest and biggest empire at the start of this game. They hold as many as 9 factions, no, 9 settlements, I think. Like the Mayans, they rely on heavy numbers, but are lacking in weapon technology. But they can overwhelm their enemies with their numbers, and they don't have any cavalry, similar as the Mayans. The Apachean are the only ones able to get cavalry eventually. So the thing about the Aztec Empire is that they not very popular. Everybody seems to hate them, I've read, and this means that diplomatic interactions will be a lot more difficult. Getting alliances would be a lot more difficult, and maintaining them even harder. So the chance is that even though they are big and kind of established here, they're gonna have to fight enemies straight away at several fronts possibly. Thing is, they got Spain to the east, and they got Apacheans. Well, they're far away, so the Apacheans aren't a problem, but they got these two, these marked in yellow and orange, I think. They're gonna be gunning for them, I think, so that will be interesting to see. It's gonna be tough at least, but I think all of these factions would be tough, really. They are also able to make sacrifices, I've heard. That instead of disbanding units, you can sacrifice them. And I'm sure you are familiar with Aztecs and their blood sacrifices, sacrificing of humans, which is what drives them to expand. Some could say that they need more sacrifices, because I think they predict that the end of the world is coming close. Yeah, it says there. The world may end at the end of a 52-year cycle, which is quickly approaching. So they are in need of sacrifices to try to prevent the end of the world. So they're going to conquer new territories to enslave other factions, other people, and sacrifice them. Or rather sacrifice the enemy than yourself, right? So now for the final faction, the only European faction playable, the New Spain, with the conquistadors, the only one with cavalry to begin with, and that's going to be something they will rely heavily on, as they are of small numbers. So the Spanish army is most likely always going to be outnumbered. Their units are a lot higher upkeep, so it's gonna be tougher to maintain as many and as big armies as the Aztecs and Mayans might be able to. So they're kind of reliant on using native mercenaries, which are gained through alliances with other factions, I think. Yeah. Their strength is of course their technology. They have the excellent infantry, cavalry and missile troops. It says here that they have soldiers wanting to prove themselves to be the strongest warriors of Europe. And this is the only Catholic faction. I think which is interesting here, which I read, is that as of course you are not the King of Spain, but you're like a branch of the Spanish Empire, and as such you will have to obey the king. And you will be given missions, certain missions on what to do. I'm not sure what this would involve, but I guess get treaties here and take that place, do this, do that. And you kind of need to do these missions to rise in rank, and rise in rank to such as say Baron or Duke. I'm not sure how that works. When you do that you get more money annually, and you get the access to better weapons and better technologies, better buildings. So obeying the king back in Spain is going to be important to rise. So it's a kind of a prestige system where you rise in rank and glory. At first I thought that being in New Spain would be very easy, because you have the best troops, you start off in a good position, all that, but I think I was very wrong in that. Because the thing is, you only have this one settlement, or you have two, but this one is an island cut off from the rest. So the two settlements you have, they aren't even connected. You got one here, Havana I think it's, or maybe this one is Havana, I don't know. Where you're pretty much all alone and surrounded by Native Americans. So finding out where to go, which way to expand, it's gonna be tough in the beginning. Of course, you have to defeat both the Aztecs and the Mayans to win. I don't think any other has any requirements to defeat a certain faction, except the Aztecs. They need to defend their neighbors, whose names I won't even dare to pronounce. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. I'm not gonna tell you which one is my favorite, because honestly, I do not know. I think all of them would be very interesting and cool to play as. Oh, and I also have to mention, he's not the faction leader, but the guy you start with in this settlement is Hernan Cortés, famous conquistador. So playing as him would also be kind of fun. Or playing against him, whichever, you know. So please tell me in the comment section which faction you'd like to see me play as. This is your chance to influence this. Once this vote is over, it's too late. I'm hoping to end the vote in 1 week. If the feedback is as strong as it was in the previous update video, then sure, 1 week is enough. So please, I would really appreciate it if you gave a vote. The possibilities are as follows: New Spain, Aztec Empire, the Mayans, and the Apachean Tribes. So with that, I'm gonna end it here, and let me know what you think. So on beforehand, thanks for voting, and I will see you again once this LP starts up, which I'm very much looking forward to. So thank you guys, and IskaldDvale out.